Welcome to this lesson on artificial intelligence in digital marketing. In this lesson, we will build a simple understanding of what AI means, so the term feels practical rather than intimidating. Imagine hiring an intern who can read thousands of customer signals in seconds, never complains about spreadsheets, and gets better with feedback. That is AI in plain English. It handles tasks that usually need human thinking, like understanding language, spotting patterns, making predictions, and generating useful content. Here is the key difference. A traditional computer follows fixed rules like a strict recipe. AI learns from data, adjusts, and improves over time. Why does that matter in marketing? Because marketing is full of judgment calls, not just copy-paste busywork. Which headline will earn attention? What will a customer likely click? Which product should be recommended next? AI helps by processing huge amounts of information quickly and turning it into smarter outputs. Not magic, not sci-fi. And no, it is not dramatically plotting to replace your entire team before lunch. A better way to see it is as a smart assistant that helps marketers move faster, decide better, and personalize more effectively. Keep that picture in mind as we move forward. Now that we have defined AI in simple terms, let us separate it from something people often confuse it with, which is regular computer programs and automation. Think of a regular program as a very obedient intern, fast, reliable, and completely lost the moment the script changes. It follows fixed instructions, and if conditions shift, a human has to rewrite the rules. Automation takes that same logic and puts repetitive work on autopilot, like welcome emails or scheduled social posts. Efficient? Yes. A genius mastermind? Let's not flatter it. AI changes the game because it learns from data, spots patterns, and improves over time. Imagine two customers visiting the same website. Should they get the exact same message? Traditional automation says yes, because everyone gets the preset script. AI says, not so fast, and adjusts based on behavior, interests, or past actions. So what makes AI seem smarter? Not magic, not sci-fi, and thankfully not robot drama. It makes decisions or predictions from patterns instead of just following fixed instructions. In digital marketing, that means more personalized, responsive, and data-informed actions, which is exactly why AI goes beyond regular programs and basic automation. Now that we have distinguished AI from regular programs and automation, let's look at the main types of AI businesses used today. This matters because not every AI tool works the same way, and knowing the difference helps you choose the right tool for the right job. Think of AI like a business team. One forecasts, one creates, one talks, and one advises. Conveniently, unlike some meetings, each one actually does something useful. Predictive AI is the forecaster. It studies past data to estimate what happens next, like customer churn, sales trends, or lead conversion. What patterns in your business might be hiding in plain sight? Generative AI is the creator. It produces new text, images, audio, or video, turning prompts into ad copy, product descriptions, or campaign visuals. Conversational AI is the communicator. It powers chatbots and virtual assistants that answer questions and support customers in natural language. Decision-making AI is the strategist. It recommends actions using patterns and rules, helping teams improve pricing, targeting, or timing. If predictive AI tells you what may happen, what should decide what to do next? In real business, these tools often work together because problems rarely arrive neatly labeled and politely separated. Now that we have looked at the main types of AI used in business, let's connect that to a very practical question. Why has digital marketing become such a major space for AI adoption? Think of marketing as a stadium full of signals, clicks, searches, views, purchases, tiny behavior clues everywhere. A human team can study some of it. AI can scan the whole crowd without needing 3 extra coffees. It also thrives on repeated decisions. Which audience should see this ad? Which subject line wins the inbox battle? Which product should appear next? When those choices happen thousands of times, manual decision-making becomes glorified guesswork. AI brings speed and consistency. Then comes personalization. Customers do not want the digital version of a loud billboard. They expect relevance. So what changes when AI studies behavior and adapts content, timing, and recommendations? One generic campaign becomes many smart mini campaigns running at once. Finally, marketing is measurable. Conversions, engagement, and return on ad spend leave a clear trail. And when results are visible, AI can be tested, improved, and scaled with confidence. That is why digital marketing became one of AI's biggest real-world proving grounds. Now that we have seen why digital marketing has become such a major use case for AI, it is equally important to clear up a few common myths. Because when people misunderstand AI, they either fear it too much or expect far too much from it. First myth: AI will replace marketers. Really? If AI were a full marketing team, it would also handle brand nuance, audience emotion, and big strategic trade-offs without supervision, which, spoiler alert, it does not. AI is excellent at speeding up drafts, spotting patterns, and suggesting optimizations. But who decides what fits the brand, what feels original, and what should never be published? Humans. AI is the fast assistant. You are still the strategist. Second myth: AI is always correct. That is a charming idea. In practice, AI can miss context, invent details, or produce bland copy that sounds polished but says very little. So what must marketers do? Review, refine, and redirect. Third myth: AI is only for giant companies with giant budgets. Not anymore. Many tools are affordable for small teams and solo marketers, making efficiency a lot more democratic. So the real win is not replacing human thinking. It is combining AI speed with human judgment, creativity, and responsibility. As we wrap up this lesson, let's bring the big picture into focus. AI is reshaping the marketer's daily role, not by replacing marketers, but by changing how they spend their time and energy. Think of a marketer before AI like a chef chopping every ingredient by hand. Efficient? Not exactly. AI is the prep assistant that speeds up research, sparks content ideas, supports personalization, and helps sort through decisions faster. So what changes for the marketer? Less energy goes into repetitive tasks, and more goes into strategy, creativity, and understanding real customer needs. But here's the catch. Fast does not mean flawless. Shocking, I know. Strong marketers now ask better questions, give clearer prompts, and review outputs with judgment before acting. If AI suggests a path, should you follow it automatically? Of course not. Human thinking still leads. AI works best as a very fast assistant, not the brand boss. Your role is to guide, refine, and choose the best path forward. Marketers who learn this partnership become more efficient, more responsive, and ultimately more effective every day. Welcome to this lesson on AI tools for modern marketing. In this lesson, we will look at the main categories of AI tools marketers use and why each one matters in day-to-day work. Think of AI like a marketing toolbox on a busy campaign day. You would not ask a hammer to write ad copy unless your strategy is pure chaos. Writing tools help generate blog ideas, social captions, and ad copy faster. Design tools help creative teams produce visuals quickly without spending ages moving pixels like it is a full-time sport. What about getting found online? SEO and search visibility tools reveal what people are searching for and help shape content so it is easier to discover. Then come analytics tools. They turn campaign data into patterns and insights, so decisions are based on evidence, not vibes. And when marketers need relevance at scale, audience targeting and personalization tools help deliver the right message to the right person at the right time. So here's the real question. If AI is a toolkit, how do you choose wisely? Start by matching the tool category to the marketing goal. That is the difference between using AI strategically and just collecting shiny software. Building on the broader AI toolkit we just looked at, let's narrow our focus to generative AI tools used for writing and content creation. Picture a marketer on a deadline, cursor blinking like it's judging them. Generative AI steps in as the very fast intern who never sleeps, helping draft blog ideas, social captions, emails, and ad variations in seconds. Why does that matter? Because the real enemy is often not effort, but the blank page. If one prompt can produce a usable first draft, what does that free your team to do? More testing, more tailoring, and more content across audiences and platforms. Imagine one product idea walking into a campaign meeting and leaving dressed 3 different ways: an Instagram caption, a short email, and a search ad. Same core message, different stage costumes. But let's not hand it the company badge just yet. AI can accelerate creation, but humans still steer for tone, accuracy, and brand fit. So the smartest mindset is this: treat generative AI as a creative assistant, not your final approver. Fast? Absolutely. Flawless? That would be nice. Used well, it helps marketers move faster and explore more ideas with less routine effort. After looking at AI tools for writing and content creation, let's shift to the visual side of marketing. This includes images, videos, and design work, where AI can save time and reduce repetitive effort. Imagine a marketer staring at a blank canvas before a campaign launch, the digital equivalent of waiting for inspiration to magically pay rent. AI steps in to generate visuals, suggest layouts, remove backgrounds, resize creatives, and even build short promo videos. Now ask yourself, if one campaign needs assets for social posts, ads, email banners, and landing pages, should every version be built from scratch? Probably not. That is where AI shines, creating variations quickly while keeping the brand look consistent. For lean teams without a full-time designer or video editor, this is less luxury and more survival kit. But does AI replace creativity? No, it replaces grunt work. Marketers still direct the style, message, and quality control. In practice, this means faster production, easier editing, and design that scales across channels. The result is quicker launches, more room to test creative ideas, and far less time lost to manual design chores. So far, we have looked at AI tools that help create visual content. Now the focus shifts from making marketing assets to improving marketing decisions. That is where AI tools for data, analytics, and marketing automation become especially valuable. Think of AI here as the teammate who actually enjoys spreadsheets instead of treating them like a punishment. It can collect, organize, and interpret huge volumes of data far faster than manual analysis. But speed is only useful if it leads to insight, right? AI helps uncover patterns in audience behavior and campaign performance, such as which campaign earns more clicks, which segment converts better, or when emails get the strongest response. Now ask yourself, if you knew exactly what was working, would you still market on instinct alone? AI also powers automation by triggering actions from customer behavior. A page visit, an email open, or an abandoned cart can each prompt a timely next step. It is a bit like having a smart stage manager behind the scenes, making sure the right cue happens at the right moment. The result is less guesswork, more consistency, faster decisions, and more relevant customer responses. As we wrap up this lesson, the big idea is simple. The best AI tool depends on the marketing task you are trying to solve. There is no single tool that does everything perfectly, and that is completely normal. Think about a real marketing day. Captions due by noon, a visual needed by 2, and performance numbers waiting in a dashboard like they pay rent. Would one tool magically do all of that brilliantly? Probably not. And honestly, expecting that is a little like hiring one person to be copywriter, designer, analyst, and automation specialist before lunch. A better question is, which tool is best for this job right now? One tool may shine at writing, another at design, another at analytics, and another at workflow automation. So instead of chasing the best AI tool, like it is some marketing superhero, build a team of tools with clear roles. What happens when the right role meets the right task? You save time, improve quality, and make your workflow feel far less chaotic. That is when AI stops feeling overwhelming and starts feeling practical, focused, and genuinely useful. As we wrap up this lesson, the big idea is simple. The best AI tool depends on the marketing task you are trying to solve. There is no single tool that does everything perfectly, and that is completely normal. Think about a real marketing day. Captions due by noon, a visual needed by 2, and performance numbers waiting in a dashboard like they pay rent. Would one tool magically do all of that brilliantly? Probably not. And honestly, expecting that is a little like hiring one person to be copywriter, designer, analyst, and automation specialist before lunch. A better question is, which tool is best for this job right now? One tool may shine at writing, another at design, another at analytics, and another at workflow automation. So instead of chasing the best AI tool, like it is some marketing superhero, build a team of tools with clear roles. What happens when the right role meets the right task? You save time, improve quality, and make your workflow feel far less chaotic. That is when AI stops feeling overwhelming and starts feeling practical, focused, and genuinely useful. As we wrap up this lesson, the big idea is simple. The best AI tool depends on the marketing task you are trying to solve. There is no single tool that does everything perfectly, and that is completely normal. Think about a real marketing day. Captions due by noon, a visual needed by 2, and performance numbers waiting in a dashboard like they pay rent. Would one tool magically do all of that brilliantly? Probably not. And honestly, expecting that is a little like hiring one person to be copywriter, designer, analyst, and automation specialist before lunch. A better question is, which tool is best for this job right now? One tool may shine at writing, another at design, another at analytics, and another at workflow automation. So instead of chasing the best AI tool, like it is some marketing superhero, build a team of tools with clear roles. What happens when the right role meets the right task? You save time, improve quality, and make your workflow feel far less chaotic. That is when AI stops feeling overwhelming and starts feeling practical, focused, and genuinely useful. As we wrap up this lesson, the big idea is simple. The best AI tool depends on the marketing task you are. Welcome to this lesson on how AI supports content creation in digital marketing. We will focus on why content creation has become one of the most popular uses of AI for marketers. Imagine a marketer's Monday. Blog draft due, email campaign pending, 5 social posts missing, and somehow the website also wants attention. Why does AI fit here so naturally? Because content demand never really clocks out. AI acts like a fast creative assistant, helping generate ideas, draft copy, suggest variations, and rescue you from the classic blank page stare down. Very heroic behavior for a machine. Now ask yourself, in marketing, what happens if your team creates too slowly? You miss trends, delay campaigns, and respond late to audience needs. Faster production means faster reaction. AI also helps teams stay consistent across blogs, emails, ads, and social channels, so the brand sounds like one company, not 5 different people arguing in a group chat. But here's the important distinction. AI supports creativity. It does not replace human judgment, strategy, or originality. That mix of speed, scale, and consistency is why content creation is often the smartest first step for using AI in marketing. Now that we have seen why content creation is such a popular use of AI in marketing, let's focus on one practical starting point: brainstorming blog topics and content ideas. This matters because many marketers do not struggle with writing alone. They struggle with the blank page. Think of AI as the colleague who walks into the meeting with 10 sticky notes while everyone else is still staring at the whiteboard like it personally offended them. Ask it for ideas, and it can generate fresh angles, headline options, and topic variations in seconds. If you run a fitness brand targeting busy professionals, what might your audience actually need? AI could suggest quick meal prep, short home workouts, or stress management tips. Notice the pattern, not one bland answer, but several useful directions. You can also steer those ideas by audience, campaign goal, or season, beginner-friendly topics, holiday content, or trust-building pieces instead of hard-sell posts. So where does human judgment come in? Right here. AI gives speed and range. You decide what fits the brand, the audience, and the moment. In short, AI is a brainstorming partner, not the marketing messiah. Building on idea generation, we now move into turning those ideas into actual marketing copy. AI can help draft social media captions and ad copy quickly, which is especially useful when you need multiple versions for different platforms or audiences. Imagine launching one product with 3 doors to knock on: Instagram, Facebook, and ads. Same message, different room, different vibe. Should you really rewrite everything from scratch every time? That is where AI earns its coffee. It can turn one core message into a short caption, a more detailed post, or a punchy headline fast. But let's not crown it creative director just yet. AI is your fast junior copywriter, energetic, productive, and occasionally a little too confident. You still decide the tone, whether playful, professional, or urgent, and the goal, whether awareness, clicks, or conversions. Ask yourself, does this version sound like our brand, and does it move the audience toward the right action? The payoff is speed, variation, and flexibility. You get more drafts to test, refine, and improve, while human judgment keeps the final message sharp and on brand. Building on AI-generated captions and ad copy, we now move to the visual side of campaigns, images, and short videos. AI tools can help marketers create eye-catching visuals quickly, which is especially useful when you need multiple versions for different platforms or audiences. Imagine a launch week. The copy is ready, the deadline is glaring at you, and the designer cannot magically clone themselves. This is where AI steps in, like a very fast visual intern, minus the coffee runs. With a clear prompt, it can generate product shots, background scenes, or short promo clips in minutes. What does that really change for a campaign? It gives teams more room to test bold ideas, compare variations, and move faster without stalling execution. That matters most during seasonal promotions, product launches, or limited time offers, when the market will not politely wait. But here is the key question. If AI can make options, who makes the judgment? You do. AI is the starting point, not the creative director. Used thoughtfully, it makes visual production more efficient, flexible, and scalable across channels. After seeing how AI can quickly create images and short videos, it is just as important to remember one thing. AI can generate content fast, but speed is not the same as quality, accuracy, or brand fit. Picture AI as the intern who works at superhero speed but still needs an editor before meeting the client. It can draft quickly, yet it cannot fully read brand personality, audience emotion, or the subtle cues that make content feel human. So what happens if no one reviews it? You often get content that is generic, inconsistent, or awkwardly off-tone. Brand voice is not decoration. It is how trust is built and recognition sticks. A playful snack brand, a luxury label, and a healthcare provider should not sound like they were all written by the same cheerful robot. Audiences notice that mismatch faster than marketers like to admit. Human editing closes that gap by refining wording, checking facts, aligning tone, and asking a simple question. Does this actually support the campaign goal? The smartest workflow is not AI alone or humans doing everything manually. It is AI for speed, paired with human judgment for credibility, clarity, and brand truth. As we wrap up this lesson, let's bring the workflow together into a simple, practical system you can actually use. The key idea is not to let AI replace your thinking. Imagine AI as the world's fastest intern, amazingly quick, occasionally brilliant, and absolutely capable of writing something confidently wrong. So where does the workflow begin? With a clear prompt. What do you need? Who is it for? And what should it achieve? The better your directions, the less time you spend rescuing the draft later. Next comes review. Speed is helpful, but accuracy, tone, and judgment still need a human in the chair. Ask yourself, is this true? Is it specific? Does it sound like us? Then refine and personalize. Add examples, sharpen the wording, and replace bland, generic phrases with something useful and human. In other words, don't publish the robot's first idea just because it arrived quickly. Finally, turn this into a repeatable habit. Prompt, review, edit. When that rhythm becomes routine, you get the best of both worlds, AI speed and human judgment, without sacrificing authenticity. Welcome to this lesson on how AI is changing search behavior in digital marketing. To use AI well in marketing, we first need to understand one simple shift. Think of old search like ordering with just menu item numbers. Efficient? Sure. Human? Not exactly. Now people ask search engines full questions, almost like talking to a smart shop assistant. What fits my need, my budget, my situation? Why does that matter? Because AI-powered search looks beyond matching words and tries to understand intent. So best running shoes becomes, what are the best running shoes for flat feet and long-distance training? See what changed? The query became specific, conversational, and rooted in a real problem. That is search behaving more like people, which, frankly, it should have done years ago. For marketers, this is the wake-up call. If your strategy is still worshiping isolated keywords, AI is not impressed. Content now needs to answer real questions clearly, reflect user intent, and sound natural. Ask yourself, does your content solve a human need or just repeat a phrase? Brands that adapt will create content that feels genuinely helpful and earn stronger visibility in AI-influenced search. In short, AI has shifted search from keyword matching to intent understanding, and smart content strategies must shift with it. Now that we have seen how AI is changing the way people search online, the next practical question is this: how do marketers use AI to decide what content to create? One major use case is keyword research and topic discovery. Think of AI as the strategist who actually reads the room, instead of the intern guessing trends from vibes alone. It scans massive search data to spot the exact words, phrases, and questions people are already typing. So what changes when decisions come from real search behavior instead of hunches? Marketers create content people are more likely to want. AI also connects the dots between related topics, search intent, and content gaps. For example, skincare for dry skin can expand into winter routines, ingredient comparisons, and beginner-friendly guides. Suddenly, one keyword becomes a content cluster built around real audience needs, not a lonely blog post hoping for attention. And yes, it saves time too. Instead of wrestling endless keyword spreadsheets like it is 2012, AI organizes opportunities faster and more clearly. Better topics usually mean more relevant content, stronger visibility, and a better chance of reaching the right audience at the right moment. Building on keyword research and topic discovery, the next step is making your content easier for AI systems to understand and surface in generated answers and overviews. This matters because many users now get quick summaries directly in search results, and if your content is unclear, it may be skipped. Think of AI like an impatient executive scanning a brief, or honestly, like all of us skimming before coffee. If the answer is buried under fluff, it moves on. So what should your content do first? State the core answer clearly, then support it with details, examples, and context. Use clear headings, simple language, and direct explanations to match common questions. Ask yourself, What exact question is the user trying to solve here? When your structure mirrors that intent, both people and AI can extract the main point faster. In other words, don't make your content play hide and seek with the answer. Nobody wins that game. Specific, relevant, and easy to scan content is more likely to appear in AI-generated summaries, which can boost visibility, trust, and qualified traffic. After looking at how content gets surfaced in AI-generated answers and overviews, the next practical question is this: how do you improve content you already have? AI tools help by scanning existing pages like a sharp-eyed editor on Espresso, catching gaps, weak explanations, and missed opportunities far faster than manual review. What might they spot? Unclear sections, missing subtopics, or messy structure that leaves search systems thinking, well, this is awkward. Instead of launching a dramatic full rewrite, AI helps refine what already exists. That means older blog posts, landing pages, and website copy can be updated more consistently without the team sacrificing 3 calendars and a weekend. It can also compare your content with likely user intent. Are you answering what people actually need, or just what sounded clever in the draft? That question matters because in digital marketing, visibility is not won once and kept forever. Content has to stay useful, accurate, and competitive over time. So AI is not replacing judgment. It strengthens it, helping marketers make faster, smarter, and more confident improvement decisions. As we wrap up this lesson, let's bring the big ideas together in a practical way. In an AI-driven search world, visibility is no longer just about adding keywords and hoping for the best. Think of your content like a tour guide. If it rambles, skips the landmark, and hides the map, neither people nor AI will follow it. So what does work? First, match search intent. What is the user really asking for? When your page answers that clearly, visibility improves because relevance stops being a guessing game. Next comes structure. Clear headings, direct answers, and logical flow make content easier to scan, trust, and interpret. In other words, don't make readers play detective. AI has enough mysteries already. Also, resist the urge to rewrite the internet every Monday. Often, the smarter move is improving existing pages. Use AI to spot gaps, refresh weak sections, and strengthen what already has value. But here's the important check. Should AI make the final call? No. AI is the sharp assistant, not the editor-in-chief. Human judgment keeps content credible, relevant, and genuinely useful. Put it all together: usefulness, structure, and thoughtful optimization, and your content has a much better chance to stay visible and competitive. Welcome to this lesson on personalization in digital marketing. In this lesson, we will understand what personalization means and why it has become such an important customer expectation. Imagine walking into a cafe where the barista already knows your usual order. Helpful, right? That is personalization, shaping messages, offers, and experiences around one person's interests, behavior, or needs, instead of blasting the same generic message to everyone. Think of Netflix suggesting a film you would actually watch, or an email reminding you about products you were already considering. Convenient, not creepy when done well. Now ask yourself, In a world where customers scroll past hundreds of messages a day, what happens to generic marketing? Usually, it disappears into the digital void. Personalized content stands out because it feels relevant, timely, and useful. And once people experience that relevance, expectations rise. They start expecting brands to remember preferences, understand interests, and reduce effort. When brands fail to do that, the experience feels outdated, like a store clerk recommending the exact same shoes to every customer. Efficient? Technically. Effective? Not even close. So personalization is no longer a bonus feature. It is now a core part of creating customer experiences that feel helpful, engaging, and worth attention. Now that we have seen why personalization matters, the next question is simple. How does AI figure out what each customer is likely to want? Imagine a detective with super speed and zero coffee breaks. AI scans browsing behavior, purchase history, clicks, searches, and engagement signals to spot meaningful clues. But one clue alone proves very little. A single click could be curiosity, boredom, or an accidental thumb slip. So AI looks across many actions over time and asks, what pattern is forming here? For example, if someone keeps viewing running shoes, reading fitness articles, and clicking sportswear offers, what would you infer? Most likely, interest in an active lifestyle. AI reaches that conclusion quickly and without the dramatic detective soundtrack. That shift matters because marketers stop guessing and start predicting. They can estimate what a customer may buy next, which message may resonate, and when engagement is most likely. In short, AI connects small signals humans might miss, turning scattered behavior into smarter, more relevant customer experiences. Now that we have seen how AI analyzes customer data to predict what people want, the next step is using those insights to reach the right people with ads. This is where AI becomes especially valuable in digital marketing. Imagine a marketer launching one ad for everyone and hoping for magic. Bold strategy, but not exactly a budget-friendly one. AI does the opposite. It studies behavior, interests, demographics, and past interactions to spot groups most likely to respond. So a fitness brand can speak differently to beginners and seasoned athletes. Same product, different motivation. Ask yourself, would both groups click on the same message? Probably not, and AI knows that before the budget learns it the hard way. It also finds lookalike audiences, or new people who resemble existing customers. Why is that powerful? Because it expands reach using evidence, not guesswork. The result is more relevant ads for audiences and more efficient campaigns for marketers. People see messages that fit their needs, while businesses waste less on the wrong viewers. In short, AI targeting replaces broad assumptions with data-informed decisions. Now that we have looked at how AI helps target the right audience, the next piece is making sure your budget is spent wisely. This is where AI helps optimize ad spend and bidding. Imagine a media buyer who never sleeps, never blinks, and thankfully never asks for a coffee break. AI watches clicks, conversions, timing, device type, and audience behavior, then adjusts bids based on what is most likely to drive results. What happens if one audience segment starts converting better? AI can raise bids there. And if a placement keeps burning budget with little return, AI can pull spend back before the damage spreads. That matters because rising ad costs turn small bidding mistakes into expensive lessons. At scale, we'll fix it later is basically a donation to the platform. AI improves budget efficiency, response speed, and return on ad spend by spotting patterns faster than manual optimization usually can. But is AI magic? Not quite. It performs best when goals are clearly defined and enough data exists for it to learn. So the real advantage is not automation for its own sake, but smarter budget allocation in fast-changing ad conditions. After seeing how AI can optimize ad spend behind the scenes, let's shift to where customers feel AI directly. Conversation. Imagine a shopper browsing running shoes at 10:30 p.m. No store associate is around, and frankly, the FAQ page is not winning any customer service awards. An AI chatbot steps in, reads the moment, and responds to what the customer asks, clicks, or browses in real time. What makes that powerful? It is not stuck delivering the same robotic script to everyone. Instead, it can recommend products, answer sizing questions, and surface current offers that actually match the shopper's intent. The result feels faster, more relevant, and more personal. And why does that matter? Because customers expect speed and relevance now, not after a scavenger hunt through 5 tabs and a help center. If getting answers feels like homework, many will leave. A strong chatbot works like a digital store assistant, always available, able to help many customers at once, and smart enough to keep context. But here's the balancing act. Personalization should feel helpful, not creepy. The goal is simple: reduce friction, guide decisions, and turn routine chats into meaningful customer experiences. As we wrap up this lesson, let's bring the main ideas together. Personalization works best when it feels helpful, not intrusive. Imagine a customer getting a recommendation that solves a problem at exactly the right moment. That feels smart. Now imagine the brand seems to know a little too much. Suddenly, helpful turns into, well, digital mind reading nobody asked for. So what makes the difference? Relevance, timing, and respect. Customers value tailored suggestions and timely support when those messages clearly match their needs. But when personalization crosses into surveillance, trust falls fast. That is why privacy is not just a compliance box to tick and forget. It is part of the relationship itself. Responsible marketers use data with a clear purpose, collect only what they truly need, and explain how that data is used. Ask yourself, does this make the customer feel supported or watched? That question is the line between effective personalization and a brand becoming the villain in its own story. In digital marketing, trust is not an extra feature. It is the experience. Welcome to this lesson where we explore how brands use artificial intelligence to solve real marketing problems. We will focus on Coca-Cola and the challenge it wanted AI to address. Coca-Cola is iconic, but fame does not give a brand a permanent VIP pass to audience attention. People change, trends shift, and what feels exciting to one group may feel invisible to another. So the challenge was not, can we make more ads? It was, can we make the right content for many different people without slowing creativity to a crawl? Imagine marketing teams trying to speak to different ages, cultures, and interests all at once. One-size-fits-all messaging usually works about as well as one-size-fits-all socks. What happens when a global brand needs personalization at scale? That is where AI stepped in. Not as the dramatic robot takeover nobody asked for, but as a creative assistant. It helped generate ideas faster, support content production, and spot audience preferences more efficiently. Human marketers still led the strategy and storytelling. AI simply helped them keep up with demand. So Coca-Cola's real goal was clear. Use AI to make marketing more adaptive, efficient, and meaningfully connected to diverse audiences. Building on Coca-Cola's challenge, let's look at how the brand actually used AI in its campaigns. Instead of relying only on traditional creative workflows, Coca-Cola used AI-generated content to support campaign creation at scale. Imagine a global team needing dozens of campaign versions for different markets, channels, and audiences, without turning the process into a creative traffic jam. AI helped generate visual and written assets in Coca-Cola's style, from imagery to slogans to promotional copy. But here's the real question. If AI can create faster, who protects the brand's identity? The humans do. Marketers still shaped the message, checked brand alignment, and chose what was actually worth publishing, because letting AI post unchecked is not exactly a best practice. This approach gave Coca-Cola speed, consistency, and room to experiment without building every asset from scratch. In that sense, AI worked less like a replacement artist and more like an endlessly energetic brainstorming partner, one that never asks for a coffee break. So the lesson here is simple. Coca-Cola used AI to scale creativity intelligently, while human teams kept the work strategic, on-brand, and publishable. Building on how Coca-Cola used AI-generated content, let's focus on what happened after launch. The campaign delivered strong visibility and sparked widespread conversation. People noticed it, shared it, and talked about it across digital channels. In marketing, that's the equivalent of walking into a room and having everyone suddenly stop scrolling. Rare, valuable, and not something brands achieve by accident. But here's the real question. Was the attention translating into connection? Customer response was mixed. Many viewers saw the campaign as creative, bold, and refreshingly modern. To them, Coca-Cola looked like a legacy brand willing to experiment instead of clinging to the old playbook like it was sacred scripture. Others weren't convinced. They felt the content missed the emotional warmth and human touch people associate with Coca-Cola. And that reaction teaches us something important. AI can produce content fast, but it cannot automatically manufacture authenticity. So what matters more, speed or emotional resonance? The smartest answer is both. Efficiency can win attention, but trust is built when audiences feel something real. That's why this campaign became more than an AI experiment. It became a live test of how audiences judge brand storytelling when technology enters the creative room. Looking at those results, the bigger value is not just that Coca-Cola used AI, but what marketers can learn from the experiment. First, AI works best when it supports creativity rather than replacing it. Think of it like a brilliant intern with infinite energy and absolutely no brand instincts unless you give them some. In Coca-Cola's case, AI helped generate ideas and visuals, but the brand team still acted as director, editor, and guardian of the message. Why does that matter? Because brand control is not optional. If the output looks dazzling but sounds unlike the brand, the campaign can feel polished, yet strangely hollow. Next comes the real judge, the audience. Innovation may win headlines, but does it create emotion, clarity, or trust? If people respond with confusion or indifference, that is not background noise. That is the market answering back. So what is the smarter takeaway? Experiment with AI intentionally. Use each campaign to learn what AI accelerates, what humans must refine, and where judgment still cannot be outsourced. The lesson for marketers is simple. Treat AI as a creative partner, protect authenticity, and let real customer response, not shiny tech, decide success. Welcome to this lesson on how Sephora uses artificial intelligence in digital marketing. In this case study, we will look at Sephora as a beauty brand operating in a space where customer choice can feel overwhelming. Imagine walking into a beauty aisle that feels like it has 700 serums, 400 shades, and absolutely no patience for your confusion. What does a shopper really need in that moment? Not more options, but better guidance. That is where AI earns its paycheck. It helps Sephora move beyond generic marketing and toward recommendations shaped by skin tone, skin type, preferences, and goals. Think about the questions customers ask. Which shade matches me? Which moisturizer fits my skin? What routine should I start with? None of these have one universal answer, despite marketing's occasional love affair with pretending otherwise. AI helps organize this complexity into a guided journey, almost like a smart beauty advisor that remembers context at scale. And for marketers, that relevance is gold: stronger engagement, more trust, and a better chance of conversion. So as we explore Sephora, ask yourself, when personalization is central to the product decision, can brands really afford to market generically? Building on Sephora's AI-driven beauty context, let's focus on the actual marketing problem it was designed to solve. In beauty retail, choice can quickly become overwhelming. Imagine a shopper standing in front of a wall of foundations, serums, and palettes like it's the season finale of a game show, except nobody wants to gamble on the wrong shade. What happens when every option looks promising, but none feels certain? Most shoppers pause, second-guess themselves, delay the purchase, or quietly exit. Confusion, very rudely, kills momentum. For the brand, that means a huge assortment can backfire. More choice sounds impressive, but without guidance, it behaves like a giant library with no catalog, full of value, short on usability. Sephora's AI was built to close that gap between interest and confidence. Instead of asking customers to play beauty detective, it offers personalized guidance that narrows options and makes the next step feel safer. Ask yourself, was the real goal simply to sell more? Not really. The deeper goal was to help customers find the right product faster, with less friction, less guesswork, and more confidence to act. From the marketing problem Sephora was addressing, the next step is to see where the customer journey was actually breaking down. Imagine a shopper staring at 50 foundations, all promising radiance, coverage, and confidence. Which one fits her skin tone, skin type, and actual needs? If she cannot tell, hesitation steps in like an uninvited guest, and the purchase may stall. Then comes choice overload. More options sound exciting, at least in marketing decks. But when products look nearly identical, comparing them becomes mentally expensive. What usually happens when decision-making feels like homework? Many shoppers postpone the choice or abandon it. There is also a guidance gap. In-store, an advisor asks smart questions and narrows the field. Online, that support often disappears. So customers are left guessing, which is a bold strategy for buying something this personal. Why does this matter so much? Because beauty is trust-driven. A poor match can mean a lost sale, lower trust, more returns, and weaker loyalty. For marketers, better discovery is not just product visibility, it is confidence design. Reduce confusion, guide decisions, and the path from interest to purchase becomes far smoother. In the previous slide, we looked at the gaps customers face while discovering beauty products. Now, let's connect that problem to why skin-based personalization matters so much in beauty retail. Imagine two shoppers standing in the same aisle. One has dry, sensitive skin. The other is managing acne and oil. Should they really get the exact same recommendation? Of course not, unless we want skincare to behave like a one-size-fits-all costume drama. Beauty decisions are personal because skin is personal. Type, tone, concerns, and goals all shape what feels safe, useful, and worth buying. That is why generic recommendations often create confusion, hesitation, and risk. Skin-based personalization changes the role of the retailer from guessing to guiding. Instead of pushing the same bestseller to everyone, brands can match products to individual needs. What happens when advice feels specific rather than random? Customers feel understood. Trust grows. Confidence rises. And in beauty, trust is not a bonus feature. It is the whole game. Better matches reduce purchase hesitation and improve satisfaction after purchase. When people feel cared for, they are more likely to engage, buy, and come back. So skin-based personalization is not just smarter selling. It is relationship building through relevance and care. Building on why skin-based personalization matters, let's look at the workflow behind it. In beauty retail, AI skin analysis usually follows a simple sequence. First, the system collects inputs such as a customer image, quiz responses, or past behavior. Think of it like a beauty advisor who actually listens before recommending 12 serums no one asked for. Then, the AI examines those signals to spot patterns like dryness, uneven tone, or sensitivity. What is it really doing here? It is translating raw signals into meaningful skin concerns. Next, it connects those findings to relevant product categories or routines. That is when the magic becomes useful, not random. Instead of giving every shopper the same glossy bestseller, the system narrows choices based on likely need. Why does that matter? Customers save time and feel more confident buying. Brands, meanwhile, deliver a guided digital experience that scales like having a beauty advisor for everyone. So the real value is not analysis for analysis's sake. It is turning skin signals into practical, personalized recommendations that improve customer experience and retail results. In the skin analysis workflow, the recommendation only becomes useful when the AI has the right inputs. Think about it like a stylist who gives better advice after seeing your wardrobe, asking a few questions, and noticing what you actually wear. That is exactly what happens here. First, selfies give visual clues. They help the AI spot visible patterns like tone, texture, or areas needing attention. Without that image, the system is basically trying to be insightful while blindfolded, which is a bold strategy. What can the AI learn from a selfie that a quiz alone cannot? Second, quizzes add personal context. They capture concerns, preferences, and goals through guided questions. Why does that matter? Because two people can have similar-looking skin and still want completely different outcomes. Third, behavior data reveals what users actually do, from browsing to clicks to past choices. And as history repeatedly reminds us, stated preferences and real behavior are not always best friends. So which is more trustworthy, what users say or what they repeatedly choose? When selfies, quizzes, and behavior data come together, the AI gets a fuller picture. Visual evidence, stated intent, and real actions combine to produce recommendations that feel far more relevant and personal. Building on those inputs, like selfies, quiz answers, and behavior data, the real magic is how the system turns that information into useful recommendations. This is where product matching logic comes in. It compares what the customer needs with the features of available products. Think of it like a great store associate. And unlike that one overly enthusiastic salesperson, this one actually listens. If a customer has dry skin, wants lightweight coverage, and keeps exploring hydrating products, would recommending a heavy matte foundation make sense? Of course not. The system ranks products that better match moisture needs, comfort, finish, and stated preferences. That relevance matters because trust is fragile. Random suggestions feel careless. Accurate ones feel helpful. And when customers feel understood, they are more likely to explore, engage, and purchase. There's another win here: less choice overload. Instead of dumping the entire catalog on someone, because apparently chaos is not a strategy, AI narrows the options to what fits that individual best. So ask yourself, is success about showing more products or showing the right ones? Exactly. The goal is better recommendations grounded in fit, preference, and behavior. Building on product matching logic, let's look at how AI improves the customer experience before purchase through virtual try-on and shade matching. In beauty and cosmetics, one of the biggest barriers is uncertainty. A customer may like a lipstick or foundation online, but still wonder, will this actually suit me? That question is the digital version of standing in a store, squinting at a tester, and hoping for the best, which is not exactly a premium decision strategy. When doubt shows up, carts get abandoned and decisions get postponed. Virtual try-on tackles this by placing a digital preview on the customer's face, turning imagination into something visible. Shade matching goes one step further by recommending the closest fit for the customer's skin tone. Now ask yourself, if shoppers can see the look and narrow the right shade, are they still guessing? Probably much less. Together, these tools make shopping feel personal, interactive, and closer to an in-store consultation than a blind online gamble. For marketers, that confidence matters because reassurance increases engagement and supports purchase decisions. In short, AI helps move customers from maybe to add to cart by making appearance-driven choices feel relevant and safe. From virtual try-on and shade matching, the bigger picture is how AI connects every customer touchpoint into one experience. In omnichannel marketing, that means the app, website, and physical store do not behave like separate islands. Instead, AI helps them work together. Think of it like a relay race. If each runner ignores the baton, the team looks busy but goes nowhere. Channels can be just as dramatic. A customer may spot a product online, save it in the app, then enter the store. Should the brand act like they are strangers again? Of course not. AI reads those signals across touchpoints and helps continue the conversation, not restart it. Customers do not organize their lives by channel charts. That is mostly our internal hobby. They expect the brand to remember preferences, interests, and actions. So what does AI do? It connects data from different sources and turns it into contextual personalization. On the website, that may mean relevant products. In the app, timely reminders. In store, smarter assistance shaped by earlier behavior. The real power of omnichannel AI is not being everywhere like an overenthusiastic intern. It is being coordinated everywhere, so the experience feels helpful, personal, and effective. Building on how AI connects app, web, and in-store experiences, let's focus on what that means for results at the checkout stage. AI helps increase conversions by reducing friction and making decisions easier for the customer. Imagine a shopper hovering at the finish line, then pausing. What might help more? Another generic banner, or a timely reminder, relevant suggestion, or personalized offer? Exactly. AI responds in the moment, turning hesitation into momentum. Those small nudges may look minor, but at checkout, minor is doing major work. AI also grows basket size by recommending complementary items based on what the customer is viewing or adding to cart. Think of a sharp store associate saying, "Great choice on the shoes, want socks that actually match?" Helpful, not pushy, which is a rare retail superpower. And because AI learns from behavior across channels, those recommendations stay consistent on the app, website, and in store. Why does that matter? Because consistency builds trust, and trust makes decisions easier. So yes, AI helps brands sell more, but it also helps customers find useful options faster, with less effort and more confidence. After seeing how AI can improve conversion and basket growth, it is just as important to ask a tougher question. When facial data is used, how do we protect trust? Imagine a customer uploading a selfie for a shade match. They want lipstick help, not a surprise cameo in the brand's mystery data vault. That is the tension here. Facial analysis can feel useful when it delivers relevant recommendations. But if people do not know what is collected, why it is used, or how long it is stored, helpful quickly starts feeling intrusive. So what makes the difference? Privacy, consent, and transparency. Consent must be clear, informed, and voluntary. In other words, the customer should know exactly what they are saying yes to, not speed click through legal fog. Transparency means explaining facial data use in plain language, what is captured, what happens next, and when it is deleted. Ask yourself, if you shared your selfie, would this process feel respectful or unsettling? When brands handle facial data responsibly, they build confidence and long-term loyalty. When they do not, even brilliant AI can cross the line from helpful assistant to digital creep. Building on trust, privacy, and consent, there is another major concern when facial data is used in marketing tools: bias in skin tone and condition detection. If an AI system is trained mostly on lighter skin tones, it may perform well for some users but poorly for others. Imagine a skincare advisor acting like an expert for one customer, then suddenly shrugging at the next. Not exactly the glowing brand experience marketers promise. In beauty and skincare, this uneven detection can miss dryness, redness, or acne on darker skin tones while catching them on others. So what happens next? The system recommends the wrong product, the customer feels misunderstood, and trust starts packing its bags. And if trust leaves, what else goes with it? Relevance, inclusion, and credibility. That is why this is not just a technical glitch hiding in a dataset. It is a practical marketing problem with reputational consequences. A tool can look advanced on a demo slide, but if it treats people inconsistently, the experience feels unfair. Smart technology that excludes people is not very smart after all. From those bias risks, we can pull out a few practical lessons that apply far beyond the beauty industry. The first is simple but critical. Imagine training a salesperson who has only met half your customers. Would you trust every recommendation they make? AI works the same way. If training data misses certain groups, outputs can become inaccurate, exclusionary, or harmful. For marketers, representation is not just a values poster on the wall. It shapes performance, trust, and customer experience. A biased system might push the wrong product, misread intent, or quietly ignore profitable segments. Second, testing is non-negotiable. Assuming one AI tool works equally well for everyone is a bold strategy and not the good kind. Marketers should test outputs across audiences, contexts, and use cases. Think of it like proofreading a campaign, but also checking whether fairness and consistency survive contact with reality. Third, accountability stays human. When results look odd, what should teams do? Question them, spot patterns, and fix issues before customers feel the impact. Responsible AI is not about slowing marketing down. It is about making it smarter, safer, and more effective. Welcome to this lesson on assessing which parts of your marketing are ready for AI. Before using any AI tool, it is important to pause and evaluate where it can genuinely help. Think of AI like hiring an intern with super speed, but zero context on day one. Would you ask that intern to rewrite your brand voice from scratch or handle a sensitive customer issue? Probably not, unless chaos is part of the strategy. Instead, start with tasks that are repetitive, time-consuming, or hard to scale. Things like creating multiple social captions, sorting audience data, or reviewing campaign performance across channels are strong candidates. Why these first? Because AI is great at speed, consistency, and spotting patterns humans might miss in a spreadsheet jungle. Now ask yourself, does this task already follow a clear process? If the steps are defined, AI usually fits in more smoothly. But if the work depends on brand judgment, sensitive decisions, or deep creativity, bring extra caution and human oversight. The goal is not to replace marketers. It is to remove manual drag so people can make better decisions. That readiness check keeps you from chasing shiny tools and helps you build AI use on solid ground. After identifying which parts of your marketing are ready for AI, the next step is to get clear on your goals. This matters because AI works best when it is solving a specific problem, not when it is added just because it sounds impressive. Imagine hiring an intern and saying, "Do something smart." Predictably, chaos follows. AI is faster, but not magically better at reading minds. So ask yourself, what job exactly should AI do here? Save time on content creation, improve ad performance, increase website traffic, personalize customer communication. Different goals lead to different tools, prompts, and success metrics. When the goal is fuzzy, the output usually returns the favor. Strong goals are practical and measurable. Instead of saying, "Let's use AI in marketing," try, "Let's generate 5 social captions a week," or "Let's improve email click rates through personalization." Notice the difference? One is a trend-chasing slogan. The other is a testable plan. Clear goals help you choose the right AI tool, measure whether it worked, and avoid burning time and budget for a shiny demo. Before you bring AI into a campaign, define what success looks like. Specifically, after setting clear goals, the next practical step is choosing tools that actually fit your situation. Not every AI tool is built for every marketer, and more expensive does not always mean more useful. A smart choice usually comes down to 2 things: your budget and your skill level. Imagine a small team buying a giant all-in-one platform because it looked impressive in a demo. 3 weeks later, they use it for one caption generator and a dashboard nobody opens. Efficient? Not exactly. If your budget is tight, start with tools that do one job well, like captions, design ideas, or campaign summaries. Why pay for the whole spaceship if you only need the seatbelt? Skill level matters too. If you are new to AI, choose tools with guided prompts, simple interfaces, and easy setup. If you are more experienced, look for customization and control. So ask yourself, do you need speed and simplicity or flexibility and advanced options? The best tool is not the trendiest one on LinkedIn. It is the one your team can afford, understand, and use consistently to move campaign goals forward. Now that we have looked at choosing AI tools that fit your budget and skill level, the next step is using them in a clear workflow. A simple step-by-step AI marketing workflow helps you stay organized, save time, and avoid using tools in a random way that creates more confusion than value. Think of it like a relay race. If the baton handoff is messy, even the fastest runner loses time. So first, ask yourself, what exactly are we trying to win here? More traffic, stronger ads, or faster content production? Next, feed the AI useful context, audience, goals, brand tone, and product details. Garbage in, garbage out is still undefeated. Then let AI build the first draft: captions, ad copy, keywords, or outlines. But should you publish it instantly because the robot sounded confident? Absolutely not. Review and refine it so it sounds like your brand and makes sense to actual humans. AI is a fast assistant, not your marketing autopilot having a dramatic overconfidence arc. Finally, publish, watch the response, and note what worked. That is how AI stops being a shiny gadget and becomes a reliable marketing system. Now that you have a simple AI marketing workflow in place, the next step is making sure it actually works. Using AI is not just about creating content faster. It is also about learning from results and improving over time. Think of your campaign like a new hire on day one, enthusiastic, fast, and occasionally confident for no reason. So what do you measure first? Clicks, conversions, engagement, and cost. Those metrics reveal whether people noticed, acted, and whether your budget survived the experience. If AI wrote the ad or email, ask, did people open it, click it, or scroll past like it owed them money? Then compare versions. Test different AI-generated headlines, captions, or calls to action. Which one actually wins? Evidence beats guesswork every time. Next, look for patterns across outputs. Maybe AI nails social captions but needs human rescue on ad copy. Is that failure? Not at all. It is feedback. Treat AI like a junior assistant, great at speed, not fully trusted with the keys. When you keep testing, measuring, and refining, small gains stack up into stronger campaign performance over time. As we wrap up, let's turn everything from this lesson into a simple beginner's checklist you can actually use. The goal is not to use every AI tool at once. It is to start small, stay practical, and build confidence step by step. Think like a smart first-time cook, not someone buying every gadget after one food video. Start by naming one real marketing problem: content ideas, ad copy, audience targeting, or campaign analysis. What exactly do you want AI to help with? Then pick one tool, just one. Learn how it thinks, where it helps, and where it confidently makes nonsense. Next, give it a safe practice run with a low-risk task like captions, blog topics, or ad variations. Why risk a full campaign when you can test in the shallow end first? After that, review everything. AI is fast, but fast and wrong is still wrong. Check for accuracy, brand voice, and relevance. Finally, measure the outcome. Did it save time, improve engagement, or help you make better decisions? That's the real checklist. Clear need, one tool, safe test, human review, and measurable impact. Welcome to this lesson on emerging AI trends in digital marketing. At this stage, it is important to look beyond today's tools and notice where marketing is heading. One major trend marketers should watch is AI agents. Think of an AI agent as the teammate who does more than brainstorm in meetings and vanish afterward. It does not just generate content, it can take action toward a goal. For example, it might organize tasks, monitor campaign activity, or flag patterns that support smarter decisions. Why does that matter? Because marketing now moves fast, expects personalization at scale, and runs on data everywhere. In that world, having AI only write copy is a bit like hiring a Formula One car to sit in traffic. As AI agents improve, marketers can spend less time on repetitive coordination and more time on strategy, creativity, and judgment. Now ask yourself, if one team spots this shift early and another ignores it, who adapts faster? Usually, the team paying attention. So the goal is not to chase every shiny new tool, but to watch trends carefully and identify which ones could truly reshape marketing work. Another major shift marketers should pay attention to is how voice search and AI assistants are changing the way people discover information and make decisions. Instead of typing short keywords, people often speak in full, natural questions. Picture a shopper asking, "What's the best budget smartphone for photography?" Not typing, "budget smartphone camera." Same need, but now the intent arrives fully dressed instead of showing up in keyword pajamas. So, what should marketers ask themselves? Does our content sound like a real conversation, or like it was written for a robot from 2012? Voice queries often signal clearer intent and can sit much closer to purchase. Then AI assistants raise the stakes. Instead of 10 blue links, users may get one neat summary or one recommendation. If the assistant picks one answer, what happens to everyone else? They become invisible, politely but efficiently. That is why visibility now means more than ranking. It means being selected. As discovery becomes faster, easier, and more guided, people lean more on assistant suggestions. So brands need messaging that is clear, conversational, and easy for AI to interpret, or they risk disappearing before the decision is even made. After looking at how AI is changing consumer behavior, it is just as important to ask a bigger question. How do we use these tools responsibly? In an AI-driven future, ethics and data privacy are not side issues. They sit at the center of trust. And in marketing, trust is everything. Think of AI like a very eager sales assistant with an excellent memory and occasionally terrible boundaries. It can personalize messages, recommend products, and improve campaign performance using customer data. But when people do not know what data is collected or why, helpful personalization starts to feel less like service and more like surveillance. So the real question is, would your customer feel informed or watched? Ethical AI means being transparent, careful, and respectful. Be clear about data collection, protect customer information, and avoid manipulative tactics dressed up as smart marketing. Because, sadly, creepy is not a brand strategy. A strong rule here is simple. Not everything AI can do should be done. Brands that use data responsibly build loyalty, confidence, and long-term trust. Brands that misuse data may win a quick click today, but lose credibility tomorrow. Responsible AI is not just compliance, it is relationship protection at scale. As we wrap up, let's bring the big picture into focus. AI is not replacing marketers. It is reshaping how marketing gets done. Think of AI as the world's fastest intern, brilliant at drafts, data, and repetition, but still not the one who should define the brand's soul. So where does it shine? Content creation, audience targeting, personalization, and performance analysis. But here's the real question. If AI makes you faster, does that automatically make the marketing better? Not quite. Human judgment, brand context, and strategy still call the shots. And then comes adaptability. Tools change, platforms evolve, and customer expectations move like trend cycles with a caffeine addiction. The marketers who stay ahead are the ones who test, learn, and refine, instead of worshiping a fixed playbook. Responsible use matters too. Trust, accuracy, and transparency are not optional extras. They are the price of admission. After all, what good is a high-performing campaign if customers stop believing you? So if there's one final idea to hold on to, it is this. AI is a powerful partner, but the marketer still leads the strategy.
Welcome to postgraduate program in strategic digital marketing offered on Great Learning Platform. Let me congratulate you for making this choice. Not because that you are trying to gain skills in the area of digital marketing today, but for choosing the right kind